All right. I'm gonna talk about getting an apartment with a job, or just getting an apartment in general, and the qualifications you need to get an apartment. Uh, for one, you mostly do need a job. You could get it with a business or your own income, but you have to prove it more. And I have extensive experience with this. In my hustling days, I used to have to, if I was gonna get an apartment, I had to either uh fake pay stubs. I knew somebody who made fake pay stubs. Luckily, I never had to do that because I always had a roommate, or I found a nice situation with a roommate that could, I could avoid all of the, signing a lease and stuff like that. That was just the nature in the life that I was in. I couldn't qualify for an apartment, but I still know what the applications ask for. So let's say you have a job, and this does not go for the lucky people out there, not the lucky people, but the people out there who have very good jobs. They work in tech, engineering. This video is not for you. You feel me? Lawyers, doctors, this video is not for you. I'm talking about recent graduates who have trouble finding jobs, or people who already got jobs and they're working entry level. The pay is still not cutting it, where you got to live on your own. You still got to live at your parents' house, which there's nothing wrong with that. But so back on what I was talking about with getting an apartment. Okay. The reason why I feel a job is a waste of time, or you're gonna need at least two or three, and that's a miserable life because you don't got no time to just do other stuff, things like that. So you're gonna need two or three jobs because a lot of apartments require you to make 3 or 4 times the rent price per month. So you will not qualify for that apartment, even if you could afford it. They want you to make 4 times what the rent is worth. You'll get lucky because, like I said, I've done my research in the area that I wanted to move to, and the area that I wanted to get a new apartment. In my previous years, I would look for, okay, because if I had to make these fake pay stubs, I had to know what salary to put on there, and on these pay stubs how much I was getting paid, because it had to be 3 times the rent. So long story short, if you get lucky, you will find an apartment complex that will ask for only 2 times the rent. You feel me? It's a little bit more lenient. I found it was very hard, but I would find like a couple needles in the haystack. Um, so boom, you find those apartments. Let's say you're not making that much money. You find those apartments that only require 2 times the rent. All the spots are filled out. From my memory, like all the spots will be filled up. Now imagine if you have no resources. If you have no resources, no parents, no nothing. That's not my situation. I'm saying, I'm speaking for people like that because I feel for them. Like I really feel for these people who don't have, family. They don't have friends, connections that could, back them up if they fall into hard times. The system in that scenario will force you to be homeless, living in your car. And me, I can relate to that too because I was once homeless for 5 months. I was homeless for 5 months before I found my next situation. I didn't really tell nobody. I kept it on the low. Uh, but and it wasn't the worst type of homeless because I had my car and I had money. So I was a homeless person with money because I had my car and I had my clients. As my previous video, I don't gotta repeat it what I used to do. But like I said, I would have been in an apartment during that time period, but I couldn't qualify. So I said I refused to go back home. I refused to go back home to my parents because that would have meant going to another state, and I would have lost out on all of my money that I could have potentially been making. So I roughed it out in the car. And how I used to work it, I used to do one night in the car and one night in a cheap motel that costed about like 35 a night, 40 a night. And that was doable because every other night 40 a night, that would add up to about 1,000, 1,100 a month. I remember I used to do this like clockwork. Uh, uh, Staying in that motel every day would have been a lot of money. That would have been like double that, obviously. But back to the subject. It just goes to show this is why this American system is broken. Just because you would think if you have a job, even minimum wage, like if you work minimum wage, you should be able to, you know, you should be able to live in one of the cheapest apartment or the cheapest apartments. But the world's not set up that way now. Like it don't matter what job you have. Go look at the videos. There's a lot of people out there that got 2 or 3 jobs and still out here homeless. Cause they're probably looking for an apartment, but a lot of these apartments aren't qualifying people who could still afford it. And then, it leads us to the whole other conversation about why a job just won't make you thrive in America, because you still got to pay for food, gas, car, in addition to rent if you're living in an apartment. Your if your car needs repairs, you feel me? And you don't have no room left. So it's like it's just I don't know, yo. Like and listen, so back to the point. I what you call it? The reason why I want a job, the reason why I've always had the same mindset. I know how to get money. I know what's possible. But at the same time, I don't want to have to rely on people to get my own apartment. I want to get my own apartment on my own. And that might be the pride in me. I got too much pride. So, you know, and not to mention, most of the people who are winning in this day and age, come on, comment below. Street niggas, you feel me? And people who hustlers. And hustling also, that's the other thing. Hustlers don't even gotta just mean you selling drugs. Like hustlers can be you could be mowing people's grass and stuff, but the money is still under the table. So you could tell the apartment all you want, oh, I make this money, I make that money, but if there are no pay stubs, you don't qualify. So, in my opinion, it's the same thing as selling drugs. Like, not literally, but you get what I mean. So, like I said, I've been there, done that, trying to finesse apartments, and it's just I feel as though if I were to get a job temporary, that's all I need, and that's my mindset right now, going forward. You know, I'm bringing this to YouTube. And I'm treating YouTube like a kind of like a volunteering type of thing, or a service to the world. Uh, and the reason I say that is because I'm not getting paid for this at first. The goal is always to grow an audience and stuff, but I'm being realistic with myself, and there are 2 things I'm doing right now that I'm seeing it as I'm helping the planet. And I'm gonna leave that for another video, just because you have a sense of good feeling when you're doing a service for the world, and sometimes that could mean God using me as a vessel for people that watch me and probably could relate, because yeah, like yeah, because a lot of people don't make videos, or just even on other social media, Instagram, Facebook, and everybody looks like they're living this best life, like this grandiose life. So that was my whole goal making this YouTube channel, was just trying to be real, trying to be real, like be honest about how I view the world, regardless of how many people disagree with my views. They might be above me. They might look at me as, oh, you feel like, damn, you feel me? He's like beneath me, but there are many people that could relate to me and my situation. You get what I mean? Like, the last thing, because I don't want to drag this video out, but the migrants and like the immigrants, it's like when I go within, maybe it was beneficial for all these immigrants to come to America, because one thing about Americans, we got too much pride. And shoot, I'm even speaking for myself. Like, a lot of us Americans, comment below. Like, if you notice, you experience this, if you have this mindset, you don't want the McDonald's jobs. You don't want the Wendy's jobs, like the minimum wage jobs. You want everybody want a 6-figure job. So the whole point of bringing the migrants into America is they will fill those jobs and meet the quota that these elites need to profit off of the people. So, and another thing, another mindset that they have when they come over here to America, and comment below, I don't know if I have Indian people watching me, if I have, other foreign people watching me from other countries. This is y'all mindset when y'all get over here. And I know, because see, okay, boom, my grandmother passed away in July, and the family, we had to go through court and sell the house. We still haven't sold it yet, but I'm saying we're going through the process of selling the house. But the first go round, we had an Indian family come to tour the house, and it was about 20 of them. It was about 20 of them all coming to look at this one house, and they all had their babies with them, and all of them were going to live in this one house. And it taught me something. It taught me that they're willing to live together, put their pride to the side, and all pitch in what they make every day to pay the mortgage on this house or whatever bills they got for the house. Americans, we got too much pride. Americans, we like, oh, I don't want to live at home, or you living at home with your parents and this, that. We thinking about the wrong things. So that's another reason why we're broke. And it's not the worst mindset in the world either, because if that could motivate you, then let it motivate you. But it's just a big difference between the American mindset and foreign people's mindset. So it really just makes you think, like, is living at home with your parents the worst thing? Comment below. I'll end it here.